Hi internet people, that Riverdale episode! So many things happened! So many things! Okay, so we ended last week's episode with Cheryl in imminent peril from the Black Hood. And she's being attacked. There's Black Hood with an axe chasing after her. And then we pick up right where that stopped. So we see him hack down the door, but Cheryl is gone. She's jumped out the window. And then Cheryl turns into frickin' Red Riding Hood slash Robin Hood slash, I don't even know, Katniss. She goes after Red Hood because she's an archer. We've seen her do archery stuff before. She shoots the Red Hood in the shoulder because she says she's shooting to maim, not to kill. And then he's gonna track that son of a biscuit down in the woods to take him out. And she calls Betty to be like, I'm going after the Black Hood. Gonna get him in the woods, dear cousin. And I'm like, oh, Cheryl! She's going after the Black Hood. Then, while she's doing that, Betty asks if it could be her dad, and Cheryl's like, yes, based on, waist, something random, waist size alone, which, again, is why I thought Hal was possibly the Black Hood solely based on the physical build of the actor playing Black Hood. Just, that's what when I asked, that's what I said, because he's the only character we had met before who was about the same size, who was not also in another scene. Anyway, Black Hood. So the Black Hood has disappeared. We learn that later because Cheryl winds up calling again and saying he's made it out of the woods. He's going towards the houses. So we're gonna leave that element of Cheryl because Cheryl comes back. She does. She does important bow and arrow related things this episode, which are great. But they're still dealing with a crazy amount of riots. Fangs has been shot. The Serpents are rushing him to the hospital. We see Jughead and FP getting him to the emergency room, and then Jughead almost loses it on the woman going, you'll have to wait. You'll have to, and then I'm like, there's a dying child. Because he's 16. He is literally a child. So they throw him on a gurney, get him into surgery. The Serpents are pissed. So they're going all out on Riverdale. So not only is Riverdale on fire, the Serpents are also setting some of those fires. But they blame Reggie because they saw Reggie with the gun. We know Reggie didn't do it. Archie's trying to explain to Jughead that Reggie didn't do it because Jughead also thought Reggie did it. Then Reggie is on the run, winds up hiding out at Pop's Chocolate Shop, which is why I'm wearing this shirt, actually. I have lots of Jughead shirts. This one seemed appropriate because of the standoff at Pop's. Reggie's hiding out at Pop's. He's hiding out before that and calls Highr'd, and Highr'd's like, because Highr'd is a jerk. Such a jerk. We learn how jerky he is in this episode. He's jerkier than I thought. So he's not gonna help Reggie, which duh. He was just using Reggie anyway. I don't know. Reggie was too trusting in this situation. He is a child dealing with a mob boss. Also, Archie is a child dealing with a mob boss, so I need him to put these things into perspective. But Pop calls Archie and is like, I think your friend needs your help. So Archie, Moose, and Kevin wind up at Pop's. They become this team. There's also an attack at the high school. The Serpents almost get into it with Archie, Moose, and Kevin at the high school, which does not happen because Principal Weatherby breaks that crap up with a baseball bat. I was totally thinking Mean Girls though. You know I'm talking about. The principal has a baseball bat in the thing and he's like, I did not leave this house sad for this. Please tell me you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so they're hiding out at Pop's. That fight has been stopped because they've been kicked out of the school by laws of apocalypse. Because older people claim the area. You got to give them the area. Anyway, so over at Pop's, there's a bunch of loud noises outside, and Archie calls Jughead and is like, where are the Serpents? And Jughead's like, I got the Serpents to the White Worm. What are you talking about? They're not there. It's the Ghoulies, because of course it's the Ghoulies, who are pulling off a very Mad Max vibe. We got guys in face paint, dudes with bats, crazy costumes. They're a-happening outside, and then to get rid of them, Archie does not know what to do, and Pop is explaining to him I don't have a gun because of the war, but I have extra alcohol, and I learned this in the I think he says 70s. And Archie throws a Molotov cocktail. I'm like, Pop, you are teaching children how to use Molotov cocktails, but bravo for you, sir. That happens. Archie chucks a Molotov cocktail, does not stop the Ghoulies because Ghoulies do not care. But then, a la Kevin's line, the hot dads of Riverdale appear to save the day because former Sheriff Keller still has his cop car. He also has a shotgun, and he has Fred, who also had FP. I think FP just showed up. But it was really funny because Kevin like takes a photo and I was like, that's also your dad. I feel like that's a little weird, but still. Anyway, whatever. So that happens. So the Archie Reggie plot is like weirdly taken care of because I don't know where Reggie goes, but he's apparently safe. We though learn that it was Mrs. Clump who shot Reggie because of Veronica. Because Veronica winds up telling Fred because he finds her in Archie's room, which he needs to know that boy is having sex. There's no way he does not know at this point. But Veronica tells Fred that Archie went out into the riots. Fred is going for Archie. Veronica got picked up by Andre. On her way home, she sees Mrs. Clump, who then reveals that she shot Fangs. So Veronica then gets to the penthouse. I'm running all over the place with this stuff. I'm sorry. But she goes to the penthouse. We learn that her father has a crazy plan cooked up because at the register, Hermione tells Alice and Betty that there's $1 million bounty on the head of the Black Hood, dead or alive, preferably dead. When Veronica finds out about this, she's like, you can't use the $1 million I got for this bounty. This is, and Betty also was like, is this even legal? Like when it comes up. So that's happening. Then Veronica and Hermione are like shouting at each other. They're fighting. Then Veronica finds this article that Highr'd has written up about the affair that Hermione had with Fred. And then she shows her mother. Her mother's like, it's a campaign strategy. And she's like, what do you mean it's a strategy? Like, Dad figured all this out. Like, Dad's gonna do all of this. Like, this will ruin you. It's for October, like right before the election. And Hermione's like, no, it won't ruin me. It'll be fine, but it'll ruin Fred's campaign. And then, with all of this going on, Small Fry Poutine, who I correctly thought is 1,000,000 feet tall and like built like a brick wall. He's not 1,000,000 feet tall. I'm just bad at guessing heights. He's a tall man who I swear I have seen before. Does anyone know what other CW show he was on? Because I swear it was a CW show. Was it iZombie? It could have been iZombie. There are a lot of larger stunt guys who show up in iZombie. He's built and asks Pop where Hiram Lodge is, and he winds up going to the penthouse, which does not turn out well for Andre or for Small Fry. By the end of the episode, Andre is dead. We don't see how that happened, but I'm pretty sure just a lot of squeezing. I don't know. There's blood by his head. I just feel like a lot of rage happened. And then Hermione and Veronica are in danger because Small Fry pops in and says, my father said if he ever died, not to kill the man who killed him, but to kill the people he loved. And he doesn't say it like that. He sounds masculine and aggressive. And Hermione and Veronica run into a room and like block the door with a couch. Kind of. It's a really bad blocking system. Small Fry gets in. Hermione suddenly has a gun and shoots him multiple times. This is not the first and only time we see a gun in this episode. We also see a gun at the Andrews house because no one locks that house. Oh my lord, the back door is open. They get there, back door's open, Archie's like trying to figure out what's happened. A Black Hood appears. Note, I said a Black Hood appears. He attacks Archie, they like get into a tussle. Fred clubs the dude upside the head with a baseball bat. Guy somehow gets up. Dude must have a skull made of steel. He shoots Fred again, but Fred is wearing a bulletproof vest, courtesy of Sheriff Keller, former Sheriff Keller, whatever. Though admittedly all I was thinking of was Winona Earp. If you have not seen Winona Earp, a similar bulletproof vest situation occurs. Season 1, and it's great. Anyway, so that Black Hood runs. Archie goes after him, which is dumb, dude. But that Black Hood gets away. Now, while all of this has been going on, the Serpents are dealing with the fact that Penny is back. And she is working with the Ghoulies. There's a whole thing that happens with Penny and Jughead. She says there's going to be a duel at dawn after. I have skipped the Black Hood things with Betty. I have. I'm getting back to them. I really am. So she kidnaps Tony and totally calls her Jughead's girlfriend, and Jughead's like, how do you have Betty? And she's like, I don't, I have Smurfette. And I'm like, they're not dating, Penny. Like, come on. But Jughead goes after Tony. Penny then reveals that the serpents need to get out of town, or there's gonna be a duel at dawn. And she was actually gonna, like, mess Tony up. And then Cheryl appears with a bow and arrow and is like, nah, hello, that's my girlfriend, no thank you. And so that works, and then it's cute, they're together. Then Jughead informs the serpents of this duel. He does not want to do it. Tony is actually for the duel, so is Sweet Pea. And then, turns out FP is too, because Fangs just died. So that's it's not good. I mean, I had a feeling they were going to kill Fangs off. But they are now going to duel at dawn. That's a plan. Solid plan. Got it? Okay, we are moving back to Betty and Black Hood, and then I will tie together this Betty-Jughead situation. Betty has had to rush home because her father went to the emergency room and then was no longer at the emergency room because he's been shot in the shoulder. And FP is the reason she knew he was there. She gets there. The doctor is dead. And Hal, I'm just saying Hal at this point, calls his daughter with the disguising voice thingy and is like, come home now, I have Alice. And I'm like, it's your wife. You're calling your daughter about your wife. Just use your voice. Use your real voice, Hal. She gets there. Hal wants to watch home movies. And he's totally bleeding in like a little tiny circle, like right here. And I was like, okay, we get it, Hal. You're the bad guy. I got it. It's good. We get it. We then watch the creepiest family movie in the world, which Alice almost thinks is a snuff film. She literally says, is this a snuff film? And I was like, I feel like it is. We learn that Hal's father was the original Black Hood. He killed Conway's? Yeah, Conway. You know who I'm talking about. And then he convinced young child, who is then Mr. Svensson, the janitor, to not ID his father somehow. He was like 6. I don't know how he managed to do that. I was not that convincing that young, but who knows? Apparently everyone in the Cooper line is evil. We also learn that the Cooper patriarch killed the Blossom patriarch at a certain point. And the Cooper name was to hide them, and they all have this darkness, and he knows Betty has it, and then Betty has to reveal everything he did, except he was not the shooter at the debate, which he says he wasn't the shooter at the debate, which means there is a copycat, because he's also not the guy who shoots Hal. Hal is not the guy who shoots Fred, because Hal has been in the Cooper house this whole time. Then Alice finds a way to get Betty to help her hit her father upside the body. Apparently not the head. I assume they were hitting him in the head a bunch. Like, I would have hit him in the head a lot. With fireplace poker. And what happens is she makes fun of Hal. She says he's a terrible serial killer. She compares him to FP and how he's very lackluster by comparison. He starts choking her. That gets handled. Okay, so Hal is a Black Hood. Who is the other guy? There's still another Black Hood wandering around the streets of Riverdale with a gun. Does he have a cousin? A brother? A nephew? His secret... It's not even his kid. I was gonna do like secret other child. I don't know. Someone is also the Black Hood. Okay, so while he's getting arrested, Betty gets a phone call from Jughead. Because Jughead has previously called Highr'd Lodge and he's made a deal. And why does anyone make deals with Highr'd Lodge? He is a jerk. He's such a jerk that his wife and daughter both hate him tremendously right now and have told him to take care of dead bodies. Which they should be irate with him because he's a terrible person. He makes a deal with Jughead. Jughead goes to hand himself over to Penny and the Ghoulies in exchange for the serpent's protection. He calls Betty, basically gives the like I'm about to die goodbye speech. We then watch Jughead get the crap beat out of him, and then Penny's just casually like, oh yeah, no, we're still gonna do the thing. I don't know why you thought we weren't gonna do the thing. So he's getting beat up. They find him. FP goes racing after Jughead. And then we get the very sad, terrible ending scene of FP holding his bloody son, who's now missing his tattoo, by the way. It's been cut off because, of course it was, Penny. Of course it was. He's carrying him out, And he looks dead. He does look dead. Admittedly, I don't think he's dead. I'm pretty sure if they killed him off, people would boycott the show. And you don't want that to happen. So I'm sure he's very injured and will assist in the morale of the serpents, but is not dead. He's not. He's the narrator. You can't kill the narrator easily. It would just, I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like he's just going to be very injured going forward. But the finale is next week, so we shall see what happens. Let me know what you thought of this very intense episode full of murder, mayhem, damage, disaster, Mad Max style apocalypse, burning, and costumes. But comments below about the episode or on Twitter. I'm at CluffNotes. You can find me on my blog, cluffnotes.wordpress.com. I write for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com, and I run their Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP. Bye, Internet people.